Hello learners, my name is Mashaba Doctor. Today we are going to learn Euclidean geometry, but we are going to focus on geometry of straight line. This is what we are going to be looking at. Euclidean geometry, but we are going to be looking at geometry of straight line. Geometry of straight line. This is what we are going to be looking at. Remember, when you talk about straight line, you remember a line that must be straight. So the first thing, I'm going to talk about straight line. What do you know about straight line? It's just a line like this. This is what we call a straight line. Remember class, on a straight line, you see, don't forget, sum of angles on a sum of angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. You see, sum of angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. Mathematically, what does it mean? It means that they are supplementary. Angles on the straight line, they are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. So you must be able, if I give you another angle, you must be able to find the unknown, because you will add all these angles. They must give you 180 degrees. Look at this. Now, let me give you an example. E.g., let's say calculate the value of x. Calculate the value of x. Then I give you a line like this and another one here. Then here I write x. This is 110. You see? This is an example. Look, calculate the value of x. 110 degrees, and then here we're having x. Solve for x. Remember, sum of angles on a straight line, they add up to 180. What do we do? If we want to bring our solution here, let me write solution for that one so that you can be able to see what is happening. Therefore, you have to write 110 degrees plus x is equal to 180. What is the reason? Sum of angles on a straight line. So make sure that you put your reasons like that. Sum of angles on a straight line. See? So when you solve here, you're going to have x is equal to 180 degrees minus 110. So the value of x will be 70 degrees. So meaning that this is 70 degrees. When you say 110 degrees plus 70 degrees, it gives you 180. See? Now, sum of angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. They add up to 180 degrees. Now, look at another example. Solve for x. So remember, if you don't know algebra, you're going to have a problem here, because we are going to be solving for x. Solve for x. This is the example. Look at this one. Then we are having this. This is our x. This is our 30 degrees. And this is our 80 degrees. This is an example. Look at that. Solve for x. Meaning that according to the theorem, sum of angles on a triangle, they add up to 180 degrees. So meaning that, let us start. Solution. When we start, we are going to write 30 degrees plus x plus 80 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Why are you saying that? You can just write angles on a straight line. This is another reason that can make life easy for you. Angles on a straight line, they add up to 180. Therefore, let's add 30 plus 80. What do we have there? We're going to have our 110 plus x is equal to 180. Therefore, x is equal to 180 degrees minus 110. The value of x is 70 degrees. You see? This is how we solve a question like this. When we want to solve for the unknown, we solve it like this. Therefore, let me bring another example to see if you understand what we're talking about. Let's get another example. Now, look at this one. Determine the value of K. I'm going to bring K there. Therefore, we have our triangle like this. This is the one here. Then we have X, then we have our line. Here we have our K. Here we are going to have our 30 degrees. Look here on the board. Solve for the value of K. Determine the value of K. So you must study the diagram. This one is 90 degrees and this is 30 and this is K. Remember, sum of angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. So meaning that you are going to write K plus 30 degrees plus 90 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. What is the reason? Angles on a what? Straight line. Angles on a straight line, they add up to 180. Therefore, you are going to say K plus 30 plus 90. This is 120 is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, the value of K will be 180 minus 120. Therefore, our K is going to give us 60 degrees. This is the value of K. Remember, this is geometry of straight line. You must be able to understand sum of angles on a straight line. They add up to 180 degrees. Alright, let's proceed. Now, the last example on this straight line, I'm going to be looking at, look at this one, solve for x. Solve for x. Then I give you something like this. This is x and x and x. Look, we don't have numbers there, but solve for x. What is it that you need to do there? Remember, sum of angles on a triangle, on a straight line, they add up to 180. Meaning that when you add all these things, they must give you 180. You are going to write x plus x plus x is equal to 180. The reason, angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line. Alright, therefore, x plus x plus x, you are going to get what? 3x is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, remember the reason you already wrote, you are going to divide everything by 3. What is the value of x? 60 degrees. Don't forget, this is how we solve angles on a straight line. Alright, now let's look at vertical opposite angles. Vertical opposite angles. Vertical opposite angles. Vertical opposite angles. When we talk about vertical opposite angles, we are going to look at lines like this. These lines are vertical opposite. So let's say this is E. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the whole of this angle is angle E. So meaning that when we talk about vertical opposite angles, the angles that are opposite to each other are equal. Meaning that angle E1, which is this, is equal to angle what? E3. You see? What is the reason? The reason here you write vert op angles are equal. You see? And another one is what? E2. Angle E2 is equal to angle E4. What is the reason? Vert op angles. So the vertical opposite angles are equal. Don't forget, vertical opposite angles are equal. Now let us get an example about vertical opposite angles. Vertical opposite angles. Alright, look at this one. Example. Solve for x. What is the value of x? Solve for x. Here we're having 50 degrees and this is x. Solve for x. Solve for x. X is and the other 50 on that other side. Remember we learned about vertical opposite angles. So it means that x is equal to 50. What is the reason? Why this one and this one are equal? Because of vertical opposite angles are equal. You see? Vertical opposite angles are equal. You see? This is the example. Now, let's say we have another one. Are you able to solve if we have another one? Okay, let's have this one. Look at this one. X minus 10 degrees is equal to here. We are going to have, you see, on this angle is x minus 10. that other angle is 60 degrees. Remember, we're talking about vertical opposite angles. It means that this angle and this ones are equal. So x minus 10 degrees is equal to 60 degrees. X is equal to 60 degrees plus 10 degrees. So the value of x is what? 70 degrees. You see? Every time, don't forget, you equate the angles that are opposite, because this is vertical opposite angles. Alright, let us proceed. Now, I'm going to look at parallel lines. You see? Parallel lines. They are lines that are parallel. The first one, we're going to be looking at this one. These lines are parallel. And then another one, we look at this one. These lines are parallel. Another one, we look at this one. So these lines, these are straight lines, all of them. They are parallel, but they are straight lines. You see? So remember, let's say this is A, B, 1 and 2. This is A and B. This is A and B. Don't forget, my learners, here, when you see a letter F or T, just know that this angle and these ones are equal. Why angle A is equal to angle B2? What makes these two angles equal is because they are corresponding. See? Corresponding angles. Because these lines are parallel. You see? And then, even here, this one and these ones are equal. Angle A is equal to angle B. What is the reason? Alternate what? Angles. These angles are alternate. You see? And lastly, this one and this one, they are supplementary. You see? Angle A plus angle B is equal to 180. What is the reason? I can try to write it so that you can see it. I want to make it visible. Co-interior angles. It's co-interior. When you add those angles that are inside, they give you 180 degrees. Don't forget. So these are parallel lines. You must be able to apply these things in diagrams. Let's take the last examples. The last examples of this of geometry of straight line. We're dealing with straight lines. E.g., determine the values of A, B, C and D. See? Now here I'm going to have something like this. You see, here I'm having 80 degrees. And then here I'm having my A, here I'm having my B, and then I want to have another one here, then A, B, C, D. See? Look at this diagram that we're having. We're looking for A, B, C, and D. See? Now let us start. How do you find the value of A? See? The value of A. The value of A, it reminds you of co-interior, the one we're talking about. That means when you add this one and this one, they must give you 180 degrees. A plus angle A is equal to 180 degrees. What is the reason? Co-interior angles. So A is equal to 180 degrees minus 80 degrees. The value of A is 100. See? So meaning that now I know the value of A. The value of A is 100. Now what about the value of B? Therefore, the value of B is 80 degrees. You see? When you look at this one, it's the same as this one because it's F. You see? Corresponding angles. You just write chorus angles. These are corresponding angles. That's A and B. Alright. What about D? When you check D, you can calculate, alright, let me write here. This is it. Therefore, I'm having 80 degrees there. So when I calculate this B, it's either I use corresponding for this one or I use co-interior for this one. Therefore, I'm going to get the same thing. So if you use co-interior, you get 100. If you use corresponding, 100. Because this will be a T. You see this line? So meaning that D is equal to 100. The reason it's corresponding angles. Or you can say 80 plus D is equal to 180. What about C? C, you can calculate it by sum of angles on a straight line. You see? Or you can use what? Alternate angles. You see, this is Z. You see? This one and this one are equal. So C is equal to 80 degrees. What is the reason? Alternate angles. You see? So this is geometry of straight line. So it ends here. We are going to get more questions. Just go and make sure that you practice these things. What you need to do, don't cram. Just understand when you talk about corresponding angles, co-interior, alternate, vertical opposite angles, and then you'll be able to differentiate them. Then you'll be able to solve. Thank you so much.